have you ever heard about Polymarket and thought, do people actually make money on Polymarket? How does Polymarket actually work, and is Polymarket a smart way to make money, or is it basically just gambling? Good, because in this video I'm going to give you answers to these and many more questions about Polymarket that most people don't understand or get completely wrong. So after watching this video, you'll understand how prediction markets actually work, what's smart, what's risky, and how to avoid the mistakes that cost people real money. So if you're ready to learn all there is to know about Polymarket and prediction markets, let's get started.
So what actually is Polymarket?
Most people hear Polymarket and instantly put it into one of two boxes. Either they think it's just another betting site, like sports betting, but for politics and crypto, or they think it's some kind of fancy crypto thing that only crypto geeks can use. And both of those are slightly wrong.
Because when you first open Polymarket, it does look like betting website. So the natural assumption, of course, is I'm placing a bet, I either win or I lose. But that's not actually what's happening under the hood. What you're really doing on Polymarket is trading opinions. Every question on Polymarket turns into a market, and that market behaves much more like a stock market than a casino. Prices move up and down not because Polymarket decides anything, but because other people are buying and selling based on what they believe will happen. If new information comes out, if sentiment shifts, if someone with a lot of conviction puts serious money in, prices change. And here's the key mental shift most people miss. You're not betting against Polymarket. You're trading with other users.
Polymarket is just the marketplace. So when you click yes or no, you're not technically saying I want to gamble, you're saying I think the current price or the opinion of the crowd is wrong.
Can I sell my bet before the event even ends?
This is where most people get Polymarket completely wrong, because if you think Polymarket works just like a gambling website, you assume once you click yes or no, that's it.
But Polymarket doesn't work like that. Prices here move before anything is decided. They move when new information comes out. They move when public opinion shifts. They move when someone places a large trade. So even while an event is still ongoing, your position already has value, positive or negative, and you're not locked in. You don't have to wait for the final outcome. You can sell your position at any moment, lock in profit, or exit early if you change your mind. Exactly like trading a stock.
So yes, you can cash out before the event ends, and technically you can even be wrong in the end and still make money. For example, the event doesn't happen, but if you sell earlier when public opinion temporarily moved in your direction, you'll be in profit or at least break even.
Do people actually make money on Polymarket?
This is probably the most important question of all, because if nobody makes money here, then everything else doesn't really matter. And the honest answer is yes, some people do make serious money on Polymarket, but some people also lose a lot of money.
And this is where expectations matter. Prediction markets reward people who understand events better than others. If you're right before everyone else is right, you make money. If you spot something others miss or understand the topic deeper than the average user, that's where profit comes from.
But if you're just randomly placing bets on markets without prior knowledge, deeper understanding, or any real strategy, or just clicking yes because it just feels right, this is nothing different than gambling. And most likely it's the fastest way to lose money. That's basically donating to the market.
What are the risks of using Polymarket?
Okay, Polymarket risks come in two flavors. First flavor is the obvious one: you can lose money, like quickly. Because every market is basically a fight between people who think they are right and someone is obviously wrong. But the second flavor is even more sneaky, and that's where people get hurt.
Because Polymarket feels like smart gambling. Like you're not just spinning a wheel, you're reading news, you can do research, you're making a prediction. And that vibe can trick you into overconfidence. You start thinking, I'm not gambling, I'm trading or predicting. And suddenly you're doing 20 trades a day and calling it strategy. Also, some markets are liquid, some are not. In a big market, if you want to cash out earlier, you can usually sell fast. But in smaller markets, you might want to cash out, and there's no one to buy from you at a good price, so you sell worse than you expected. Then there's another risk nobody talks about: information advantage. If someone has better info than you, like real inside info, you are literally the exit liquidity. You're the guy buying yes while the insider is selling it to you.
So basically the risk isn't Polymarket is a scam, the risk is it's a real market with real money and real sharks. and you're basically trying to make some money while not becoming a free lunch.
Where's my money actually stored when I use Polymarket?
So this is a very important one, because on Polymarket, your money is not sitting in Polymarket's bank account.
Basically, on Polymarket, you can log in using your own wallet like MetaMask, or you can sign in with email. But in practice, it doesn't really change the core thing. Either way, Polymarket uses a crypto wallet. If you log in with email, Polymarket simply creates a wallet for you behind the scenes. And no matter how you top up your account with crypto or even with regular dollars from a bank card, what you end up using on Polymarket is USDC.
And this is the moment where you need to start taking fund security seriously.
When you place a bet, your USDC goes into a smart contract in exchange for shares of an outcome. So you don't really have an account balance like in a casino, you have a wallet balance and you have positions. And that's why Polymarket is called non-custodial. It means Polymarket is not holding your money like a normal company, you're holding it yourself in crypto form.
That's good because it's much harder for a company to randomly freeze your funds or refuse to pay you, but it's also scary because if you lose access to your wallet or you get hacked, there is no customer support miracle that recovers your money. That's why I personally use and generally recommend a very simple safety system. I keep a separate hot wallet for Polymarket with a small amount of funds, and I keep the rest of my crypto investments and profits on a hardware wallet. This way, you cannot get hacked on all your funds because the majority of it is on a hardware wallet. Also, this way you can send profits back to the hardware wallet so you don't accidentally lose all of them. Also, this way you can't lose all your funds in one mistake. For example, you can't accidentally bet more than you planned, and you protect yourself from an emotional all-in decisions. So you basically have one pocket for trading or gambling money and another pocket for money you actually want to keep. For example, as a hot wallet, I use MetaMask to log in on Polymarket, and as a hardware wallet, I use Tangent Wallet. This is an app that works with such a hardware wallets that are very easy to use, even for beginners, and very hard to lose access to, because you can even set it up in a way where you don't need a seed phrase. I've been using Tangent for more than 4 years now and never had a single problem. So if you want to learn more about these devices, you can use this QR code or link in the description below. And if you finally decide to get one, only for the subscribers of the channel, you can use promo code Mikita at the checkout and get a whole lot 10% off on any order. This way, you're making your crypto journey much safer, not only for Polymarket, because with this device, you'll be able to store any crypto you'll ever need. And at the same time, this way you're supporting my efforts in making this video. And yeah, let's go to the next one.
Can I create my own market on Polymarket?
Short answer, yes, but not directly. This is not one of those platforms where anyone can just create a random market. Polymarket markets are curated, and the team decides what goes live.
But you can suggest markets, usually through their community channels like Discord or X. And if your question is clean, resolvable, clearly defined, and people actually want to trade it, there's a real chance it gets listed. Is Polymarket a smart way to make money, or is it basically just gambling?
Okay, the honest answer is it's gambling, but with a few quirks. Because yes, skill matters, knowledge matters, timing matters.
You can buy low, sell high, manage risk, trade news, and there's no house interest in the usual sense. Polymarket isn't setting odds to crush you, but the people you're trading against absolutely are. So if you have real skill, real knowledge, or some kind of informational advantage, you can profit. But for most people, it behaves like gambling. Another thing people underestimate is how addictive this can get, because you can trade at any time. Prices move constantly, you're watching charts like it's crypto, you get instant dopamine boosts from green numbers, and that's where things get dangerous.
So if you're thinking of this like investing, or if your goal is I want a safe, reliable way to grow my money, this is not it. But if your goal is I want to monetize my knowledge, or I want to check out how markets think, or I want to have some fun with a small amount of money and treat it as an entertainment, then yeah, Polymarket can be interesting. But it does not change the fact that it is mostly just gambling.
Polymarket versus Kalshi. Which one is better?
Kalshi is basically the regulated from day one, US-friendly version of event trading. It's legal for Americans, it uses US dollars, not crypto, and it feels more traditional. Polymarket, on the other hand, is more crypto native, but it does not mean that you have to be crypto guru to use it. It's more global, more wild, has more markets, usually more liquidity, and a lot more unique viral events.
And there's one big difference that really matters: fees. Polymarket has basically built its brand on "we don't charge trading fees, you keep the profit." Kalshi does charge fees, not insane fees, but if you're very active, they add up over time.
So which one is better? Honestly, it depends on two things. First one is which platform has the market you actually want to trade, and the second one, which one has better liquidity on that market.
Now that Polymarket is rolling out a US regulated version of the app, the gap between the two is getting smaller. At that point, it's less about which platform and more about fees, liquidity, and whether you're comfortable using crypto or not.
And if you're outside the US, the answer is pretty simple: Polymarket.
Are there any fees on Polymarket?
Polymarket doesn't take cut of your winnings, there is no commission per trade, no house fee when you win, but that doesn't mean it's completely free. You can still pay costs in other places.
If you buy USDC with a card, the payment provider takes a fee. If you move money across chains, there can be bridging costs. If you deposit crypto into Polymarket, there can be small blockchain transaction fees. But all of that is usually tiny compared to the main cost you might actually pay when you trade the market. Polymarket uses an order book, which means there's always a buy price and a sell price. And those two are not always the same. That difference is called the spread. The same idea as when you buy or sell stocks or Bitcoin on an exchange. So when you sell your position early, you might sell slightly lower than the number you see on screen, especially in smaller or less active markets.
So technically, yes, there is no platform fee, and Polymarket itself doesn't skimp on your trades, which compared to competitors that charge fees on every bet or on every win, actually a very big deal.
Is Polymarket legal in USA and other countries?
The short answer, yes, but it depends where you are and which Polymarket you're talking about.
For a long time, Polymarket had problems in the US. Regulators didn't love the idea of random people trading on real-world events, so Americans couldn't use it. That part is old news now. Polymarket has been working on a separate, fully regulated US version. The CFTC approved it, and that's now rolling out. So Polymarket is becoming fully legal in the US, but through a compliant, regulated app with stricter rules. So there's the global Polymarket, and there's Polymarket for the US.
And outside the US, it's still a mix. Some countries allow it, some countries block it completely. That's why the safest advice is boring but true. If the site lets you in, you're probably fine. And if it's blocked in your region, it simply won't let you in. There is also a VPN workaround using which you can still fully use the service, but that's whole another topic.
Does Polymarket require KYC or ID verification? Can I use Polymarket anonymously?
So, on the global version of Polymarket right now, you can sign up without any KYC or documents. And if you use crypto directly, it's basically just you and your wallet. But here's the catch, it's not fully anonymous either. The moment you touch the traditional banking system, things change.
If you use a card to buy USDC or any other crypto through an on-ramp platform, that on-ramp will almost certainly ask for KYC. And if you just send crypto to your wallet from an exchange, same story. That crypto is linked to your KYC on that exchange and, in theory, traceable.
But if you have somehow anonymously purchased crypto and you have it sitting in your wallet, in theory, you can fund Polymarket anonymously with it. That said, it doesn't mean it won't be linked to your identity later on when you decide to buy some Rolex from the profits. Just kidding. And when it comes to the US version, the regulated Polymarket app for US users will require KYC. And that's it.
Do you actually need crypto to use Polymarket?
You don't have to know anything about crypto if you want to use Polymarket, but you'll still be using crypto under the hood anyway, because even if you use a card deposit, Polymarket basically does the crypto part for you. It becomes USDC in your account and you don't even have to know about it. So you're using crypto without really thinking about it. But if you want full control, a wider variety of currencies, maybe lower fees, faster withdrawals, or if you want to stay more private, then yeah, you'll probably end up using a real crypto wallet. So do you need crypto? No, but technically speaking, yes.
How do I deposit money into Polymarket and how to cash out winnings?
So we go to the official Polymarket website. You can do this using this QR code or link in the description below.
Next, click Login. You get two choices: Google account or crypto wallet. Both work the same way, but you're on a crypto channel, so let's log in with MetaMask. Click the MetaMask icon, approve the connection, then hit connect, then confirm again. Polymarket will give you a short onboarding if you're a new user. And yeah, we're in. To deposit money, let's click the deposit button. The first time you do this, Polymarket will ask you to enable trading. Click enable, confirm in your wallet, and now we can actually fund this thing. They offer PayPal, cards, and crypto exchanges, but realistically, the fastest and cheapest way is sending crypto directly using a crypto wallet. So let's pick that option. Polymarket will show a list of supported tokens: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, USDC, even Trump if you want to get political. But for this video, USDC on Polygon is the easiest option. Super low fees and works perfectly with Polymarket. Pick USDC, then pick Polygon as the network. And Polymarket will show you a deposit address with a QR code.
Then open the wallet or exchange you are using. As I mentioned before, for this type of stuff, I'm using Tension wallet.
Go to my USDC, click send, scan the QR code from Polymarket, enter the amount we want to transfer, and then confirm the transaction by tapping the card. Awesome.
Now give it about 30 to 60 seconds for money to be credited to your account, and boom, the balance appears inside Polymarket. To cash out the winnings, it's basically the opposite. You go to your portfolio, find the market you won, click claim, confirm with your crypto wallet, and you'll receive the money almost instantly.
Who decides the outcome of the bet on Polymarket? What if Polymarket resolves a market incorrectly?
Polymarket itself does not sit there and decide outcomes manually. There is no employee clicking yes or no. Instead, Polymarket uses something called an oracle system, which sounds complicated, but the idea is actually pretty simple. Think of it like this.
Polymarket doesn't decide what's true. It decides how truth is decided. That's the rules section. And here's how it works in real life. When a market ends and the event has happened, anyone can propose the outcome. Something like, yes, this happened, or no, this didn't happen. That someone can be anyone. It can be Polymarket, it can be a trader, it can be a random third party, but you can't just propose an outcome for free. You have to put real money on the line. So what you're really saying is, I believe this is the correct outcome, and I'm willing to lock up money to prove it. And after that, there's a short window where other people can challenge it. And here's the key idea that makes this work. People are financially rewarded for challenging wrong outcomes. If someone proposes something incorrect, anyone else can dispute it. And if they're right, they make money.
But anyway, what if it resolves incorrectly? And here's the uncomfortable truth. On Polymarket, you're not betting on what you personally think is true, you're betting on what the market will officially resolve as true, based on the rules written on that market page. And that section can be written in a tricky way, with a lot of rules and details that are not mentioned in the name of the market. And this part matters more than people think, because it can influence how market will be resolved. And if Polymarket resolves the market, there is no manual undo button, no support ticket that reverses a settled market. So before you trade, always read the resolution criteria, understand exactly what needs to happen for yes or no to win. And if you see that there are a lot of criteria that seems impossible to follow, it's better not to participate in that market.
How does Polymarket actually work? And how to use Polymarket?
This is a good question, by the way, because all this prediction market stuff can sound super complicated at first, like what do those tiny numbers next to yes or no even mean, and how do you really understand what you are putting your money on? However, I have a separate video review right here where I break down in simple terms how Polymarket exactly works and show you step-by-step tutorial how to use it safely without screwing things up. So if you want the full how-to, check out this video right here, and yeah, see you in the next one.